Bro, I do not understand the hype over Ken Carson. Like,
Yeah, he is really truly just a dollar store Playboy Cardi.
Acting like he doesn't emulate certain aspects of Cardi's flow or Cardi's style is stupid. That's brain dead.
Ken Carson is not only failing on this record to bring anything truly new or refreshing to the sound,
Ken Carson is undeniably one of the biggest artists out right now, alongside Destroy Lonely,
No stylist.
and Cardi. He delivers a plethora of songs, albums, mixtapes that will leave you in the mosh pit.
Oh, my boy freestyle too. Hey,
His songs deliver an electrifying energy that makes you just go crazy. With the release of his next album, A Great Chaos, coming on July 17, 2023, which is less than 3 weeks from now, depending on when you watch this, it's clear that Ken is going to make a significant impact on the industry. But we gotta review the things that came before A Great Chaos before we can understand A Great Chaos. X, released almost 1 year ago on July 8, 2022, was one of the biggest and best albums of that year. But a lot of people disagreed. A lot of people said that the album was not good, below standard for the X-Men. A lot of people's criticisms was that Ken was a Cardi clone and that Ken looked like Goomba from Mario Brothers. What if I told you the album had more to offer? With Ken's previous project being Project X, a lot of fans were saying that Project X was a true opium album that showed the full essence of Ken. A lot of fans were expecting something very similar to Project X on X. Project X showed a lot of party rager themes that was evident within the sound and the music videos of the album. But X is an entirely different album that shows Ken's transition from Teen X to the X-Man.
I remember I was just teenage, then I turned to a man, now they call me X-Man.
X showcases a wide range of genres, which goes from alternative to rage to punk, and showcases the versatility of Ken Carson. X, in my opinion, was actually one of the best albums of 2022. It lived up to the standards that the fans wanted to put the collective in. X, alongside No Stylist, was two of my favorite and I believe one of the best albums of 2022. And Ken, with his vocal delivery and the production of Gabe, Filthy, Out of Town, TM88, all culminate into the beauty of this album. X has had a significant impact on Ken's growth as an artist. Contrary to the belief that X was actually an album that put Ken down, from the recording of X to this day, Ken has gained over 3 million monthly Spotify listeners. I mean, come on, man, you can't dispute the numbers. X is a more mature album that showcases Ken's dark, avant-garde, and alternative style, as opposed to Project X, which showed Ken's carefree and loving attitude. I mean, not so loving, but more of a carefree attitude. The style choices of Ken from Project X to X is entirely different. In Project X, you can see a bunch of color. You can see Ken wearing white in one of the songs and in the album cover. And you can see the same thing on X, but it's a bit different. X incorporates the fashion-forward, dark, and alternative style that we all know opium for. The music videos on X has Ken wearing Balenciaga, Rick Owens GIMP hoodie, and it shows the darkness and overall feeling of Ken within the album. It connects with the fashion choices that opium fans want to see. Wearing Rick Owens, wearing Balenciaga, wearing that GIMP hoodie. Shout out 44 Board 2, and shout out my agent on Panda Buy, because I'm buying that. Music videos on X, just like on Project X, shows a plethora of vibes and emotions that is amazing. The end has a music video that's entirely different, and Destroy Lonely makes a cameo within the music video.
And if the police came for you, I'd take the blame.
MDMA, one of the best opium collaborations, starts off with followed with two ladies wearing Vetements racing jackets, which could be a foreshadowing to the song Vetements Coat.
I put this Vinci all over my pants and I just did Balenci, my shoes and my hoe.
This song showcases a dark theme within the album and showcases the true opium essence that the collective is trying to show.
I get money, I get racks, I get payments.
Lone even makes a reference to the upside down cross and how he's not the Pope.
Shoutout, I'm a rasta, my guitar got a scope. I reckon all black and my cross upside down, I'm not the
which could be a cross-reference to the song that Cardi has today, an unreleased Cardi song called All Red. Freestyle 2 is Ken's best song ever. Freestyle 2 evokes a range of emotions and energy that only Stop Breathing can match. The catchy hook, the visuals, and the overall song make it a classic for any rager worldwide. Freestyle 2 is one of the best songs ever, one of the best Opium songs of all time. X is a culmination of Ken's personal experiences, what he's lived as a young kid from Atlanta growing up, visualizing and becoming the rappers that he always wanted to become. His mother would play Future in the household for him at a young age, influencing the way that he sounds.
Mama used to play Future and shit. Like,
your mom is lit for that.
Aside from Thug, aside from Future, he started listening to bands like Green Day and Deftones, which had an impact on X and the sound that he's gonna go for with a great chaos. Opium's ability to mix punk, rage, and rap in the same genre is truly mesmerizing and is one of their best quality. And X was a perfect testament to that. Although X, in my opinion, was one of the best albums of last year, a lot of people disagreed.
There is nothing exciting, refreshing, fun, or interesting about this project. It is just drivel. It is a void. It is emptiness. It is a lack of something.
He gave the album a 0 to a light 1. A 0 to a light 1. He does the same thing for every other Opium artist. Artists like Destroy Lonely.
Slop. Feeling a strong 1 to a light 2.
Artists like Blade. I know he's not Opium, but Ice Dancer a 1?
I'm feeling
a
light to decent 1 on this thing.
Yo, it's D-Slap from the future, and he actually likes Blade now.
Another critic was on Pitchfork by the author, you can read his name, which gave the album a 4.7. He said that the album was just a cheap Cardi clone copycat, a copycat of Whole Lotta Red, saying that on his latest album, the Atlanta rapper lacks curiosity, imagination, and charisma. It's like being whacked with a slab of styrofoam. The opinions of these critics wouldn't matter though, as Ken would launch the X-Man tour. As one of Ken's fans' mothers would say it. With the help of his mother, Freestyle 1 became one of the songs that Ken really shined through. Ken combines the influence of Future and his own style into one song, which we know as Freestyle 1 today. Another collaboration between Ken and Lone on the album was Murder Music. One of Ken's lines that stood out the most is, which I believe is one of his greatest verses of all time as well. Lastly, the album ends with the song The End. This was produced by the Dutch duo of Out of Town and Starboy, and is a perfect ending to a very beautiful album, and showcased Ken's affinity for bands like Green Day with the lyric, the album X holds significant cultural and visual values. It showcases the evolution of the underground and showcases the evolution of Opium as a collective. X has solidified itself as one of the best albums of 2022 and reflected Ken's status as a true Opium member. Despite the criticisms, X has made a significant impact on the fans that loved it the most. To follow up X, Ken released Extended. Cool name. The tracks on Extended are Fashion Habits, Freestyle 3, and Swag Overload, and a bunch of other tracks. Freestyle 3 is similar to Freestyle 2 and is one of the most hyped up tracks within the album. People actually knew the lyrics to the song before the song was even released. Y'all believe that? A Great Chaos, coming out in a few days after the release of this video, is said to be one of Ken's most influential albums ever. Said to be an entirely different aesthetic to what Ken has previously produced. So, get ready for an experience that you've never seen before from the collective. Get ready for a great chaos.
2 things I ain't ever seen. A nigga that be the gun.